Every serious poker player should know the basics of proper dealing and shuffling. In this video, I'm going to teach you the very basics of how to deal and how to shuffle. You won't be ready to become a professional dealer just yet. That takes a lot of practice, but you'll know the fundamentals necessary to deal a poker game at home or in a casino. First, make sure you have a proper deck. There should be 52 cards, no jokers or extra cards. Make sure to review the deck to ensure it's complete and unmarked. At the beginning of a deck's use, when it's brought into a game, someone should divide it up by suit and then order the cards from ace to king, just to be certain that each card is accounted for. Just counting off 52 won't do it, because rarely, but sometimes, there are duplicate cards and you may have 2 queen of clubs and no jack of spades, and that would be 52 and it would not be a correct deck. You don't need to do this every time you deal, of course, but you should do it at the beginning of the session or anytime people have questions about whether the deck is complete, if somebody drops it or if a card is thrown by mistake. When you first have the deck, you should execute what's known as a wash. A wash spreads all of the cards out on the table in a large randomized circle. Then take both hands and swirl the cards in opposite circles, thoroughly mixing them up. Then gather them together into an even stack, squaring it off with the palms of your hand. Once the deck is evened up, squared off, with your right hand, take off roughly half of the deck and lay it flat, facing the remaining half deck. Shuffle the corners of the deck together and then square the deck off again. Repeat this. Do not bridge the cards, as people often do in home games. This just adds a risk of exposing the cards that you don't need and don't want. Make do with squaring off the deck with your hands. It's not as dramatic, but it's more effective. This is called a riffle shuffle, by the way. So after riffle shuffling twice, as we've just explained, do what's called strip shuffle, taking the top of the deck and putting it on the bottom in small chunks. Do this 3 times, reconstitute the deck, and do one last riffle shuffle. Then take roughly half of the deck and place it on the cut card and put the remaining stack on top of the first part of the deck, and you are ready to deal. This is if you are a house dealer. If you are not the house dealer, but a player in the game who is dealing, with the deal passing from player to player after every hand, you should not cut the cards after you shuffle them, but give them to the player on your right, and they can cut the cards. The deal: pick up the deck with your left hand. The thumb should be draped over the top left or middle of the deck, and with the deck balanced on the palm of your hand, start to deal. Pay close attention not to tilt up the cards as they are dealt. Slide them off the top so that they are not revealed at all, pitching them gently to each player around the table. Deal everyone 2 down cards, 1 at a time. It may initially feel awkward to do this without bending up the card being dealt, but practice and you will be able to do it before very long. There are very few things worse in a poker game than a guy who flashes cards to other players, intentionally or otherwise. Practice until you're sure that you are not flashing the cards. Once everyone has their 2 down cards, there is a round of betting. Once it is completed, you should deal 1 card face down and slide it under the dealer button. This is the burn card. You should deal the burn card right before you deal the first 3 community cards, known as the flop. Deal the flop after the burn. The flop is 3 up cards. You may deal them one at a time, but the most common method is to have 3 of the cards dealt up at the same time. The key is to make sure you're dealing only 3 cards. So make sure there's not a 4th card stuck in there by mistake. This is called the flop and is followed by a round of betting. When the betting is done, burn another card and deal 1 card face up next to the flop. This is called the turn. It too is followed by a round of betting. And when the betting is done, deal a final card as a burn card, and then the river, which is the last community card, face up in the middle. After all 5 cards are dealt, there is a final round of betting. If there is a showdown, confirm who has the winning hand, push them the chips, the pot, and then collect their cards. You don't want to make the dealer mistake of collecting their cards before the pot is awarded, just in case someone disputes who won the hand. That's pretty much it. One other item of note is the common dealing irregularity of dealing a card that flips up or that is dealt face up by mistake to a player. If you deal a face up card to a player by mistake, it should have been dealt face down. You continue with the deal, leaving the face up card there. They don't have a choice of getting it or not getting it. You finish the deal of 2 down cards to everybody else. You then take the up card from the deal that you made by mistake. That exposed card, that mistaken exposed card, becomes the burn card, is put on top of the deck until the betting action is done. It is then burned face down before the flop, and then you flop the first 3 cards.